are, you guys? Part two of the Seth Rogers interview from Allegedly with Brittany. Let's get it. And we are back. Hey, Yankee Kyle, it's good to see you. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it.
Hi, everybody.
Love you bunches too, buddy. Absolutely. You guys, if y'all haven't, go subscribe up to Yankee Kyle's channel. He doesn't put out a whole lot of content all the time, but when he does, he puts out good content, and I like watching him. I like watching him live. So you guys go check out Yankee Kyle. You can click on his name, and it will take you to his. Click on his name in the chat, and it will take you to his channel. We love you, Connie. I mean, Kyle. I was looking at Connie's name when I said that. We love you, Kyle. Love you too, Connie. Good evening, everyone. It's so good to see you all. I'm glad you made it, Kyle. I'm glad you made it. Um, so tonight, as I said earlier, we're gonna finish up with this Seth Rogers live stream. His not live stream, but his interview. And if you guys would like, if you'll look in the description below the video, you can find the link to the original interview on Allegedly with Brittany J. And you can watch it all in whole there. And while you're over there, give her a thumbs up and tell her I sent you, okay? I greatly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Um, so earlier, I know I said some stuff about this interview that a lot of people are probably questioning, and we're going to get straight into it for that reason. Um, Let me pull it up here. Here we go. All right. And Brittany really did do a good job with this interview. And we're going to start a little bit from where we left off last night, whenever he was talking about Sebastian at the zoo with the piranhas. Okay, here we go.
Oh my goodness.
He's an animal lover. He's always been. Yes, cats are his favorite. We had a bearded dragon when we were in California. Goose was her name. She was beautiful.
Oh my
But
goodness.
when I wasn't allowed to have her, she died of scale rot. So did the next snake that Katie bought him.
So sorry.
All right.
So he liked reptiles, huh? That was his and then cats, just animals in general.
Animals in general. But when we lived because we lived in Spring Valley, California for years.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had 2 dogs and we had Goose. And my ex threw a fit because I got rid of the dogs. Well, Sebastian was taking one for a walk, and the dog took off after another dog and dragged my son down the sidewalk.
Oh my goodness.
And, no, you're not going to hurt my kid.
Right.
I had 2 of them. All right. And I wanted to train them to be able to work with Sebastian. He's autistic. But when that happened, couldn't do it. It was like, and I gave them away to good homes. I didn't sell them or anything like that. I literally turned around, gave one to the guy that lived across from us who had another place to live down in Mexico. And he took him out and took Abel out to a range. And Kane, I gave to one of the ladies at his school because she had just put her dog to sleep because her dog was old.
Oh.
And I was like, I tell you what, I've got a pity. He was Stafford Razor Cross. gray, beautiful, beautiful pups. All right. I'm like, they're a little over a year old. They're still puppies. And I was like, you can have him. And I gave 50 pounds of dog food to her and gave her, cane. I was like, here you go. And Sebastian didn't even realize the dogs were gone for 2 weeks. 2 weeks that they were gone. And then I finally took.
I just want to take a minute and say hello to everyone coming into chat. Living my best life at 60. Molly, it's good to see you again. Hello. And of course, we got Low 12 and Connie, and Sammy is up on panel with me, you guys. Say hello, Sammy.
Howdy.
And we are watching the Seth Rogers interview that allegedly with Brittany Che did. Um, that's what we're currently watching. If you guys would like to watch the full interview again, the link is in the description below. I put it to where you can go straight to the video with her channel in the description below. So, but hopefully you'll stay here and watch it with us first. Oh, and if you guys have not hit that like and subscribe, we are 20 subscribers away from our first 1,000 subscribers. And I would greatly appreciate it getting us there.
Thank you, by the way, all of you.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. All right, back to the interview.
Took the doggy door out of the hallway. And he walked up and he was like, why'd you do that, Dad? The dogs are going to come eat my toys. And I looked at him and I was like, son, you had one job, and that was to feed and water the dogs in the morning before I took you to school. When was the last time you fed and watered the dogs? And he was like, oh, I guess I should feed and water them. I was like, son, I already gave them away to new homes. And he was like, oh. I was like, don't worry, I gave them to good homes, though. And he was like, okay. He was younger then.
Yeah.
He wasn't attached to him like I was.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you this because I really want to clear this up too, because this is another one that's on nagging my soul. There are certain creators that keep saying this over and over, that Sebastian was going to be made to live with you because he was being punished. Can you please clarify that? Because I don't believe that's to be the case at all.
I'll clear it up with this comment. While I was homeless in California going through a divorce and finally got the restraining order and everything cleared up in the court system, where everything that somebody had stated about me was proven false.
There you go.
And there was nothing could be proven that anything she said was legitimate at all, but everything that I stated was legitimate. Clear down to police reports. For my son to tell me that he'd rather live in the car with me than in that house with his mom, that should tell you.
Yeah.
My son wasn't being punished to come live here with me. He thought he was being punished with online school, but he needed to get into therapy, and he needed to have that year of just being online school. And what people don't realize is that he'd have been going to online school, which I still have him registered for and enrolled. I'm just hoping that I have him found and back to me before school starts. But he was going to school with his godbrother, because his godparents live up here in Clarksville too, which is why I live up here.
I have a question. Someone that wanted me to ask you this too. The day that they called you, Chris called you to tell you that. Here, right here, Jane. I see it, babe. Jane says, "Can Seth please explain the day that Chris called? He called you and told you Sebastian was missing, and when you arrived at the house, what Katie did with her phone to you."
She had the picture of Sebastian at Costco shoved it in my face and was like, "Look, see, he was having a good day." Like,
What?
That's
what does
so
that mean to
bizarre.
me? What does
That's
that mean to me?
crazy, Seth.
And Seth, does she not talk to you ever by herself? Because I noticed that Chris says like
Obviously,
he kept in contact.
obviously not that good of a day. I mean, or he wouldn't be missing, right? What do you think, Sammy?
Yep,
Hello,
obviously.
Kenny and Marmy. Good to
Obviously.
see you guys. Go ahead, Sammy. I'm sorry.
Obviously not.
Obviously not. I mean, I don't exactly call it a good day when you go missing. I
Well,
don't know so much.
well, maybe this is really all about her good day. Sorry, not sorry.
It's possible. It is a possibility.
I
Yep.
know
Sorry,
that was
guys.
mean. That was mean. I'm sorry.
It was a low blow, but yeah, yeah. It's you know
I'm
possible.
sorry. How much do we have to hear about what a good day that was after all of this?
Or how many fun facts when your child is missing.
Right.
I just that part. That's one of the first things that stood out to me. Like fun fact, and I'm like, what do you mean fun? There is no such thing as a fun fact when your kid's missing. Period. End of story. There's not. There's nothing that can qualify for a fun fact. There is no joy in anything that's a fun fact. There is no fun facts when your kid's missing.
I don't know.
I just,
Just too much emphasis on it makes it seem all the more suspect to me.
yep,
Sorry.
yep. Not only that, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. Whenever you're a good parent, you don't have to sit there and pat yourself on the back and say, oh, I'm a good parent. Your children are a reflection of you being a good parent in itself. And then you got a neighbor that comes on and says, oh, and we don't even there was no signs that a kid was even living there. What? Excuse me? Mm-mm-mm. All right, let's get back into it because there's something else on here um, that Seth says that I think is very important to get to. So we got about 20 something minutes left of this interview, Sammy. I know you got to be at work at 10. So, okay.
Would you? Would Katie not co-parent with you one on one?
Sometimes it was difficult.
Okay.
Sometimes we could have. I mean, sometimes co-parenting is hard. It is hard, but you will do whatever you can to make sure that your child is okay.
Oh, absolutely.
But
And
I
mhm.
refuse to continue.
Miss Brittany J, how are you? It is so good to see you. I hate my voice. She says, hey, girl, would you like to come up here on panel? We are covering your lovely interview with Seth. Would you like to come up here on panel? You know, you are more than welcome on my panel at any time. It is so good to see you. Let me put the link out here for you, Brett. You did so good in this interview. Oh, awesome. Aw. Aw, thank you, Brett. Aw. You just made my night. You know that? You just made my night. Look at this sweet girl. She's the one that did this interview. And Brittany, you did really, really good in this interview. I want you to know that. I know I've already said that, but you really did. You gave Seth um an opportunity to speak and you asked questions that there have been a lot of people asking And I think that you did really good with your own questions and what you asked him to. You really did. You did a good interview. And her CV. Oh wow. Oh, she did not even have to do that. Bless her heart. Wow, you guys stop. You don't deserve the hate. You do not deserve the hate, Brittany. I know what you're talking about with this video. I could I probably already know what they're doing to you, girl. I probably already know what they're doing to you. Yep. Just like they did with me whenever I said that bedwetting was often linked to being a symptom of abuse. Yep, I know. I already know. And it's not even what you said, it's what Seth said. Yep, 100%. Oh, you guys are amazing. Thank you, Britt. I put the link. If I need to, I can drop it again for you when you're ready. Okay. I just want to get a little bit more of this interview in because it was a good interview, by the way. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I know Jules is allegedly innocent.
Certain punishments from that
Absolutely. She's a
house
total
at
sweetheart, too.
my house because he didn't do it at my house.
I don't blame you.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that. I teach co-parenting classes.
For everyone in here that is wondering what the Jules thing is that I'm talking about, the woman right now, Jules of Thought, that is talking about the co-parenting, that is allegedly innocent. Yes, and she is wonderful. And you're fixing to get a good little snippet of how wonderful she is in this interview with allegedly with Brittany. You guys did so good, Britt. You really did. But at the same time, girl, oof, I think Seth needs to get off YouTube. Some of the stuff he says. Oof. All right, let's get back into it.
You are right about that. And I did try to correct that.
Granny Proudfoot, I'm not gonna let you come into my strength. Yeah, and she left. Granny Proudfoot showed up. I don't even know who that was, but um, I'm not gonna let you come into the stream when you got your hand over the thing or it blurred out, whatever. And you've got your camera active. Sorry.
I heard people saying that if the kid gets in trouble at one house, the punishment should spill over to the other. And I said that is
I
not.
believe that only depends on what he did wrong.
I agree with that.
Well,
If he had sat there and hit a teacher or something, yeah, I don't approve of putting your hands on anybody, especially a female. Oh, hell no. So me and him are going to have a nice long talk for that hour that we get here. And I'm going to ask him what he thinks his punishment should be. But that's only going to be after I find out what his punishment has been at his mom and Chris's.
And that would be a specific example of where both parents would have to be called in for that particular type of infraction, right?
Right, where it would be
But
both.
Correct.
Like if your bedtime's 10 o'clock, kid stays up to 10:30, 10:45, and you say, okay, well, you're grounded this weekend. That grounding should not happen at the co-parent's house. I've seen situations where one parent was actually weaponizing that so that every time the kid went over to the dad's house, he had to be grounded for the dad's weekend. So
yeah, no, that's my weekend with him, not
there
your
you go.
weekend to control him.
That's exactly
Right.
correct. Absolutely.
And I told Katie a long time ago, when you divorce me, you lose all the protection that I give you. As in, you're no longer my spouse. And yeah, this may sound harsh or rude or whatever, but that also means I don't have to treat you like I would my loved one.
Yep.
Hello,
Now that's
spiritual
Because
Jenny.
true.
Welcome. And Jenny, it's good to see you again.
have you violated your vows. You have stepped upon these vows that you
Sammy, are you seeing this message in the back chat?
Yeah.
I need to screenshot this. Hold
uh,
on a second. Gonna send that to myself real quick. Give me just a second. I sent you a copy
don't
of it too,
engage.
Sammy. I'm not
I
going to. I'm not going to.
roll that footage, as Crystal would say.
Hello, honey elder. Welcome, you guys. All right, let's roll this. Yeah, that beautiful
took in
footage.
front of somebody
Reminds me of that
that are
commercial.
supposed to be in front of God, and you have trashed these vows because you don't want to work with me anymore. Got it. Well, I'll work with you when it comes to Sebastian. But don't expect the same treatment from me that you got when I was married.
I
People
don't
think I'm
understand.
not over her. No, I still have good memories. I have a lot of good memories of me, Sebastian, and his mom. All
Yeah.
right. I never focused on the negative ones. I know them. I lived through it. But I always been the one that goes for the positive memories. The times that we were fishing on the dock in South Georgia while we're sitting there and I've got a net over Sebastian's rocker because Sebastian's an infant and we're out there fishing at night with him.
Oh.
Okay. I still remember things that she probably doesn't like to remember. Like I had a pickup truck. I was the only one that was working. I was the only one. We only had one vehicle. And it started raining. And I told her, listen, it's raining outside. We have a kid. You're going to have to ride in the back. You can't drive a stick shift. If you could drive a stick, I'll ride in the back. But she couldn't drive a standard.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't take Sebastian home and come back and pick you up. There's nobody at the house. I'm not leaving him. I mean, let's be, common sense here. One of us has to ride in the back. Well, right after that, she got online and she was like, I found us a new truck. All right, that's cool. You know, I still miss my little Toyota. You know, I I remember taking her to the DMV to get her driver's license for the first
Oh.
time. Okay, I didn't groom this lady.
I get so
This
tired of that. Yeah, that's
this lady
awful.
didn't. She did not have the opportunities that children should have because of her father and the mistakes that her mother had made and the mistakes that her father made. She didn't get the opportunity. But as her husband, I was damned she's going to get these opportunities. I helped her buy her first car. Sprayed my wrist, changing the brake pads on her first vehicle. You know,
Mhm.
people will make trash up because they're
Absolutely.
trashy people.
You're right about that. You're right
And then
about
they're going
that.
to get butthurt when they get a cease and desist because they're talking garbage and they're making me look bad, which I don't need anybody to help me do that. Thank you.
Well, I think
I agree with that. What do you think, Sammy? Do you think that
Yeah.
all of these parents, in one way or another, at some point, have done a fantastic job of looking bad all on their own?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm just going back and checking chat.
calling somebody a predator, that's
Yes.
more than talking shit. That's a crime.
It
Yeah.
is actually a crime, unless you can
They
prove it.
can't do that, you know.
Yeah.
So when I thought about that, I said, well, maybe that explains the cease and desist letters. I wouldn't let anybody say things like
You
that
know,
about
when
me.
there's a YouTubers out there claiming that they made $20,000 off of my son,
Oh my God.
Okay, that's gross.
T Red. Not saying any names, but his initials start with T dash R EV 757.
That is gross.
they got a cease and desist too because you're nasty. You're using the fact that
Oh
my
my
son's not
goodness.
here and telling people you make $20,000. You're pretty nasty.
Whoever
When a when a
oh my God.
YouTube is that is literally here in Tennessee sits there and asks me about handguns, and I give him my personal opinion of what he should be looking for because of the performance, and he wants to talk about how much money he has. And I said, well, while you're at it, if you're making that much, why don't you buy two and give me one? No, the pistol don't cost $2,000. They're $2,500. I've been saving up for 4 months before my son went missing to get it. Do you think I have that money now? No, I spent that money in doing other things.
Right.
Right.
Dude, did I want it? I sure did. That was going to be a birth.
This man sounds hurt. Put a one in chat if you think that Seth is hurt right now, and it's showing. I just want to see where you guys stand. Are y'all thinking that Seth is hurting? And yeah, and this conversation is on the darker side because he's hurting. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Me too. I think he's speaking his truth right now in a lot of ways. His truth.
Birthday present from me to me. Now I just want to find my son.
I get it.
I don't give a fuck about present. I give a fuck about being able to hold my baby boy.
Hold on a minute. I want to clarify that right now. Are you saying that the person bragged to you about making that money?
Yes,
Oh my
That is
God. I
that's
can't with
just
that.
crazy.
I'm sorry, y'all. That right there is awful.
It's like
That is
you are
horrific.
such a piece of shit. And to think that I come onto your thing and I think that you have my back and I tell you to be safe while you're out there doing what you're doing in other states because I've been taken advantage of by YouTubers, content creators, more like copy clickers, because they just want to take interviews and dissect them. Oh, did you see how his eyeball twitched? Oh, he keeps his hand up above. I've got nerve damage in my right arm and I can't even make it into an MRI. I've been waiting for over a month, close to two, for an MRI. All right. Yeah. I'm, there's days that I cannot pull myself out of my bed.
I can tell. I mean, this has taken a toll. Have,
Yes, it's too
have
much.
you would it would you be able to just sort of stay away from the whole YouTube stuff for a week or so just to kind of give
I did.
yourself.
That's why I deleted my account. I deleted my account. I couldn't even watch any music or anything. Thank God I'm old enough that I still have CDs.
Yeah.
Bless your heart. It's not
I
good for anybody. It's not, especially, listen, I as a creator myself, I've said this before you've been on my panel, and I'll say it again. When it comes to cases with missing children or tragedies or anything like that, this place is a cesspool
It
for
is.
families. It's horrible.
Brittany J, as Queen would say, shut your mouth, girl. You are spot on the money. And you know, when she says shut your mouth, she says, she means you're spitting facts. Be quiet now, girl. But listen, you are spot on the money. There are people out here that will take advantage of these families in these situations for their own benefit. And it is so awful. And it is so sad. It's so sad. And then you got people out here that really want to do good and help, and they do good and help regardless. They don't need, there's people out here that don't need these parents' permission to do their part, except for the parents to actually say, I need you to do this. Seth asked us all to go sign a petition to get the FBI involved. Well, I shared that petition. We still share that petition. Getting Go sign it. Go sign it. That's how he needs our help. That's how we're going to help him, right? Right? Whenever a
Exactly.
parent asks you for help, that's what you're supposed to do. If you feel obligated to do so, that's not everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that and I respect it. But when a parent asks you to do something and says, here's how you can help, they're asking for help. So I'm going to go do that. Am I going to throw money at this situation? No, I can't. I can't. I don't have money to throw at this situation, but I can send out flyers and I can sign petitions and I can help write petitions to change laws to help these children. I can call the district attorney and tell him, look, you've got to hand this case over to the FBI because it has been 100 plus days and Sebastian still isn't found. Those are the ways I can help. And at the end of the day, we all have ways we can help, and we don't need nobody's approval. We don't need anybody's um, um, praise, because at the end of the day, doing good and trying to help these families, you know you did good and you tried to help these families, and that should be enough. It don't got to be on on blast for the whole world to see. But Brittany, you were very fair with Seth in this interview. I want you to know that. You really were. You were fair with him and you let him talk and you asked him questions that people have been wanting answers to. And while 100% all of these interviews and stuff, this is what they said. Um, I think from his perspective, it shines a lot on this subject. I really do, whenever it comes to Seth. I think it shows that he's hurting and that he has been abused by people on YouTube, not you, but abused by people on YouTube. And I think that he needs to now that he has said his piece and you were wonderful for giving him the platform to do that on, I think that he needs to step away because he has been hurt. You know what I mean? This has been done to him. And I believe Seth when he says these things have been done to him. I've had my own experiences with one of these creators, and you know who I'm talking about. T Red. So I get it, but he needs to step away now from YouTube. The only reason he should ever be on YouTube, in my opinion, because he said his piece now, is if if they find Sebastian or if he's going on a platform to say, hey, this is just this. This is my son, Sebastian Rogers. He's missing. This is what we know. This is what we don't know. And then get off. You know what I'm saying? Because in this interview, as much as I hate it, Seth said too much.
What they're doing to you, what's happened to many others, it's absolutely
You know
gross.
what's it is gross, but you know what? When you get people that are paying people to continue to do it, where is the? I mean, really, that's you can't blame them. People want to pay for the drama. They're like, this is better than cable TV,
It's sad,
and
but
it's
it's
like
so true.
the only difference is this is real life. This isn't Law and Order. This is literally somebody's life.
Well, Seth, I mean, on mainstream TV, the reality TV shows, people flock to that,
They
right?
do.
I don't have T. I had Netflix. That's about it. Now I don't
Well,
even have that. I actually
well,
haven't had a TV subscription. I stopped watching TV when my doctor told me you need to stop watching the news because
yeah,
the news is affecting your health.
absolutely.
And that was back in 2011.
Yes. And they
So I was
the
like, I tell you what, that's $120 that can be put towards something else.
absolutely agree. But the reality TV where they take a group of people that don't know each other, put them in.
This man got told how many years ago to stop watching the news because it was bad for his health? Can you imagine, Sammy? Can you imagine what's going on now? He
Well,
is, his son is
yeah,
the news.
yeah, yep.
His son is the news.
Well, it's your worst nightmare come true, no matter who
Yeah.
you are.
Yep. Wow. Yep. I just don't know if I have it in me to keep covering this case. You guys, it's awful. No matter which way you cut it, the statistics for Sebastian are awful of finding him alive at this point. It's next to zero. And I just don't think there's anything else can be offered until they find him or give this investigation over to someone else. I just don't. So this is probably going to be one of my last ones covering this case because it hurts. I have an autistic son. He's 19. And this hurts to know that this little boy was let down by CPS, by everyone that was around him in one way or another. In one way or another, everyone carries that torch of this that is involved with him. And I'm not talking about just the ones that likely did something to him. I'm talking about everyone in this situation is carrying a torch. All the families of one way or another. They really are. Okay, sorry, back to the interview.
in a house together, and then they add a bunch of alcohol, and then they film and watch as these people just go through their days fighting and being ugly. There's a certain element of our population today that they like, and I think, my opinion, you get a lot of that with some of these channels where there's drama all the time. And that one particular channel that, you know, she's got it for Christopher Proudfoot, that they do seem to really like, you know, enjoy that type of banner. And
Oh, it's awful.
it is. And the only thing that you can do, Seth, is to insulate yourself from it and just not watch it. Don't go there. Don't listen. You're not going to control these people. They are, we sat, Brittany can tell you, we sat and watched for about 2 years as Chris Watt's wife, Shanann Rudek, her parents hired attorneys. They sent cease and desist to YouTube. They tried to sue YouTube, individual creators, just trying to make people stop with the nonsense, and they could never get it to happen. And
drama will never stop because there's always people that are craving the drama.
Mm-hmm.
But as creators, you guys can limit it because you can limit the drama. That stuff's not allowed here. If you keep it up, you can go somewhere else because you won't be allowed here. I mean, that's just the way it is. Somebody was wanting to know about me leaving my son at home. When he was here, my son was responsible. Have you ever known? Okay, my son was never an eloper. He never eloped. He never ran out, ran away, no nothing. Besides the fact that my neighbors all around know my son and think that he's the wonderfulest child they've ever met.
Oh,
okay.
He does seem
I
like
mean,
a little darling.
My neighbor has stated that she has watched him come out this door and stand in the driveway, and she was out here, and he was like, "Hi, how you doing?" She's like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And he was like, "My dad will be home in about 7 minutes."
Aw.
And she's like, "How do you know?" And he was like, "Because I know what time it is. My dad's never late when he's coming home from work. He'll be home in about 7 minutes." And she's like, "Oh." And he was like, "I come home. He's already got coffee made and everything." And it's like, "How'd you know I was coming home early?" He was like, "I just knew you were coming home, Dad."
So sweet.
I made that promise to him. "I'm going to work, son. I'll call you later on tonight." Because I'd call him from the jail. Because I can't have my cell phone in there. All right. So I would call his cell phone from the jail. And I would see how he was doing. He never had a reason to leave. I hate this word. I really hate this word. But the kid had plenty of food and snacks in this house for him. All right. And when I say snacks, I'm talking about he's got yogurt cups, fruit cups, everything in the fridge, carrots, celery, peanut butter. Boy knows how to cook. Does he, hot pockets, Doritos, you name it, in the freezer, because he knows how to use the microwave. And then if I was here, he would cook on the stove because that's what I was teaching him to do. I was teaching him to be independent for himself.
Wow.
You have to let them grow if they're ever going to be able to fly on their own.
How can I just ask for clarification, and listen, I'm not judging you at all, because I think you love your son, and there's no doubt in my mind. I don't question it. But did you have to work overnight, or was it during the day?
I worked overnight.
Okay. And he did fine. That's good. I mean, listen, I have a child on the spectrum, and something I can tell y'all about him. Sebastian was 15. They're perfectionists. Was Sebastian a perfectionist? Did he have to do things the right way and very punctual? I'm just curious.
Not really following the question, but Sebastian did what Sebastian knew he needed to do.
Right. So usually when a lot, I don't want to say that because it's not fair, but in the
I'll
cases
tell
that
you
I've
what,
seen,
I'd come
they're
home and his bed ain't made. Did he make his bed like he was
I love
supposed
that.
to? No. I come home, be like, Sebastian, did you brush your teeth last night before you went to bed? I'm gonna take that as a no. Go brush your teeth.
It's a typical teenager.
Yeah, he's a teenager. He's gonna rebel. Welcome
Right.
to being, a parent of a teenager. Certain things you have to do. Certain things you just look over. Certain things you have to remind them of. All right. It
Well,
was just that. I
I
was
would.
happy if
Mhm.
he made sure that his room was maintained.
There you
And
go.
he knew how to wash his own laundry. Talking about him because you guys don't know him. You guys don't really know me. But if you're gonna sit there and talk down about my son or talk down to me, you're with the drama. I can't have it. So Jenny P, know what I'm talking about. And if I'm a sad ass individual, what's that make you for not knowing what I'm speaking about? See, that's part of the drama, Jenny.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
know
that.
who I'm speaking about. I haven't stated everybody that I sent a cease and desist to. I
And
stated I sent it to 6 people.
and Jenny P, who are you to say to someone who's lost their child, their child is gone? Who the hell do you think you are calling them a sad ass person? What do you? I can't even imagine a world like
Mm-mm.
that. Have
Nope.
you tried to put yourself in his shoes for about 2 seconds? I can't even imagine the panic that a person would have not knowing where their child is and just trying anything to try to figure out even what direction to go in. What does that mean, you sad ass individual? You are
Right.
the one reflecting yourself to be a sad ass individual. I'm done, Brittany. Sorry about
No,
that.
no, tell it. That mods, I want zero tolerance for tonight because that right there, I tell my mods to and let's still have
Oh,
freedom of speech, but not like that. That shit ain't okay at all.
No, it is
and
not.
there's one other one, audacity. I just get the feeling that if the other parent left him that long, there would be an outrage. Katie knew what I did. She knows how long my shifts are. She knows that I work nights and I work 12-hour shifts. She knew everything before she came up, before we even agreed to that.
Well, here's the thing too. I'm listening to what Seth
And
says. Mhm.
Sebastian would get off at 3 o'clock, and Katie wouldn't get home until 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. So if you think that me leaving him for 12 hours while I go to work at night, she left him at home alone as well during
Yep.
the day.
I remember
All
hearing
right.
Chris say
He's
that.
15 years old. No, we communicated about that because one of the things that I wanted her to make sure that she understood is that I work 12-hour shifts. Sometimes I have to stay over. It's mandated, and I have to pull 16-hour shifts because we're shorthanded. We got to have officers there for the inmates. And she was completely aware of this. See, there was communication, there was co-parenting when it came to Sebastian. Wasn't the best in the world, but at least both of us tried.
Well, one thing that I actually that sticks out for me with everything, and I've tried to even tell everybody what, regardless of what you believe, that you can't deny that even Chris and Katie themselves has spoke very highly of Seth's relationship with Sebastian.
Yeah.
They said that if Sebastian was in sports, you bet his father would be on the front row. I don't know what happened. Seth, if you want to come back in, I'll drop the link to you again. Um, y'all, let's be respectful. Y'all, it's easy to hear he's going through some things. I
He
mean,
is just on
you
the
can
edge.
this platform has made it even tit for tat. Thank you, sweetheart, for joining. And y'all, I seen y'all's questions. I didn't want to cut him off. I wanted to give him the floor as much as we could. But if he comes back up, I'll try to get to catch him. Um, I honestly don't hold it against him about leaving Sebastian at home because I've heard, it's been out there. Katie and Chris did too. I've known that for quite some time.
Okay. Hold on just a second. I need a drink. Ooh, thirsty. Okay. Where is it in the interview? Because I know I heard it. What is going on? I'm so confused right now.
What are you looking for?
Huh. Did I miss it whenever we just listened to it? Where he said what he said about Sebastian waking up? The whole go take a shower thing?
Where's the interview? I don't see it.
That was all of it.
Okay. Well, ultimately, what I could see in all of this, really truthfully, is they had to, at his age, start preparing him for the real world, you know?
No, 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 no. Where was that? Okay, I'm going to have to talk to Brittany because there was a part in that interview that I saw. I'm going to have to send Brittany an email. Did you just hear anything about Seth waking up? I mean, Sebastian waking up and Seth having to tell him to go take a shower? What on earth is going on here?
Well, I listened to the same thing you did, so
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I think I do. What's your point? Just tell me.
Um, it's gone from this interview. It's gone from this interview. I didn't just, it wasn't just there. I'm so confused right now.
Uh,
I don't know. I'm so confused. Like, what just happened? I guess I'll have to talk to Brittany. I will say this, though. Um, if she's removed it, she's done it for a reason. You know what I mean? But Sammy, you watched the interview with me. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but Regina, I don't remember that specifically. What was your point with that? What were you going to go with on that? It's just what I want to know. I'm curious.
It was only what I was going to say earlier that I wanted to cover in this stream. Anyways, I think it is more than apparent that Seth is hurting right now. I think it is more than apparent that he has a lot of issues with a lot of different people. He got to say his piece in this interview, and I really think that now he needs to step away from YouTube and maybe focus more on doing interviews on news networks like local news networks or nationwide news networks. You know what I mean? Because that is going to be the best way. All of us, we already have all of Sebastian's information. We've already put his picture up in all of our platforms. We've all given the phone numbers. We've all signed the petition. I think that Seth needs to stay away from YouTube because A, he is emotional right now because of Sebastian, and B, because not everyone out here is out here to help him on these YouTube streets. And that is a fact. That is a fact. And everything we say as a parent is held to scrutiny. It's held to scrutiny whether we had anything to do with our child going missing or not. Same hand for the Proudfoots. Everybody is out here talking about Seth this, the Proudfoots that. People are against people, this, that, or the other. And here's the whole thing. Everybody's opinion of these parents has come from what they have said, because let me explain something to you. Law enforcement is not talking. The parents are the ones doing all of the talking. They're the ones that come on national TV 8 days after this child went missing. The Proudfoots did. And then they wanted to stop everyone in the middle of the street in their neighborhood that went through once or twice. For what purpose? According to the neighbor, there have been people that are YouTubers that maybe they did just go down there to help. Maybe they did just go to search. But look at how that ended up too. You got cease and desist letters getting sent out to YouTubers. I'm sorry, but if I get a cease and desist letter, I'm going to quit talking about it. That's just who I am. If I say something enough to upset a parent that they're going to send me a cease and desist letter, then they obviously don't want me talking about their child for some reason or another, and I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit talking about it. I'm not going to quit putting their kids' missing poster up and being an advocate for that child, but I'll quit talking about them and the circumstance and the situation if that's what they want. Do I think it's going to help Seth to find Sebastian, to stop talking about Sebastian in his case? No. But I don't think that the parents need to keep doing all these YouTube videos and stuff because of some of the things that have left their mouth. And now they all wonder why they're getting backlash and this, that, or the other because they said something. They come on YouTube and they talked. They buddied up to these YouTubers and they talked. Who is to blame but us for our own actions? The Proudfoots. Why do I dislike Chris Proudfoot? Because of what he did to Sebastian out of his own admission by his own tongue with a belt. Why do I suspect Katie? Because Katie was the only person, allegedly, alone in that house with Sebastian when he disappeared without a trace. I'm sorry, but I have to think about that logically when it comes to her. Seth, I think Seth has never, ever been in this situation before. And now he's got all these leeches and people leeching onto him, trying to get their little piece of it. All of them. No, I don't think he needs to be doing that. It's not helping Sebastian. It's not helping him. He already said that the doctor told him to quit um, watching the news because it upset him. Can you imagine what watching all these YouTubers do all this is doing to him? So I think he needs to stay off YouTube. I think he needs to just do it a different way for his own sanity, if nobody else's. The neighbor that talked up today, the neighbor that did the interview with JRL, while I'm grateful that she come forward and she gave an interview, I feel like she should have never, ever talked about where she lived to that degree that she did, having children. I don't think she should have showed her face on YouTube with someone who has 200,000 subscribers having kids. I wouldn't have personally. But then again, we live in the South. She might not be scared like I ain't scared. But in my opinion, she seemed intimidated whenever she had her run in with Chris Proudfoot, according to her, the way I gathered everything from it. So I don't think it was wise to stir the pot. Or maybe, you know what? All the neighbors are just tired of it and they're all going to come together, Sammy, like you said. And they're just all going to spill the tea and say what's really going on and what they think. But I will tell you this, whenever your neighbors start questioning your behavior and your actions, they're the people that live closest to you. I'd start worrying. I'd start worrying. We're not hearing people say, oh, they were good parents. That's not what we're hearing from the neighbors, you guys. The neighbors are like, we never seen hide nor hair of a kid. Or we seen him once or twice out in the yard with the dogs, but we never seen him playing or this, that, or the other. And we rarely seen him. There was no signs that a kid lived there. Let's be realistic about this. What do you think, Sammy?
You've hit the nail on the head.
My neighbors be telling you all kinds of crazy things about my kids. They probably tell you how my son got my autistic son. He loves railroad bells. They'll probably tell you how he got a Colin Hayes railroad bell, an antique one, gifted to him for his graduation. And you know what my son gets a kick out of? Going outside sometimes and just ringing his bell. And the neighbors will tell you, yep, he loves his bells. He's always out there ringing them. That's what he's entertained by that. He studies them bells. He can take them apart, clean them, and put them back together. He loves them bells. They're his hobby, if you will. Or the neighbors could say, "Yeah, I saw that kid outside. They were all out there doing garden work together, or something like that." We got a cat. We don't have a dog, so nobody's ever seen Adrian, walk the cat. But the neighbors see my kid. They know his name. They talk to him. People interact. What's going on here? And I'm not saying it's not possible that maybe the Proudfoots aren't just really private people. That's possible too. But some of these people didn't even know Sebastian lived there till he went missing, you guys. That should say something to all of us. And the neighbors suspecting it? Hmm. Do I think Seth Rogers had anything to do with his son? No. Do I hope that man takes a break from YouTube for his health and to help regroup himself to find Sebastian? Absolutely. Because I do know this, Seth. I do know as long as you continue to look for your son, there is never lost hope that he will be found. Never. You will never have to worry if he's never found because you are the one looking for him. And there's always hope until you stop looking. He's worth it. I'm praying that you find Sebastian. I am going to move on to other cases. Um, I don't think that there's anything anybody can add to this really except more drama. And I do not want this for Sebastian, all this drama going on. There is a wonderful child with a big, beautiful smile being lost in all of this, you guys. All of it. And it's terrible because really that's all that matters at the end of the day. I mean, people can hate me for saying this, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about Seth. It doesn't matter about Katie. And it does not matter about Chris or anyone else. The only person here that matters is Sebastian. Period. Sammy, is there anything you'd like to add to that? I know you got to be getting going.
Well, being as you're going to drop this whole thing, I am going to say this. If that really was you, Miss Granny Proudfoot, let me tell you something right now. Only someone who is evil and has darkness in their heart would ever say something that you said in that message to us, and you just proved a point to me.
I don't even know who Granny Proudfoot would be, Sammy. I think it's just a troll
I know it could be
or
just a troll, but I am telling you right now, you cannot get away from the digital world. There's always a footprint. It leads to somewhere.
Sammy. I wasn't gonna say nothing because you know who my husband is.
Well, listen, okay, I get what you're saying, and I'm totally on board with you, Regina. I totally, completely, we're in this to help,
Hmm.
not to harm and not to hurt,
Right.
you know.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. You're at work now, aren't you, Sammy? I'm so sorry. Sammy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it
Oh,
for
that
me.
was it. All right. I'm gonna go over some of these comments because we haven't been able to go over them. Um, they just ran pulled new cable and stuff through my uh attic and everything. So I don't know if there's something wonky going on a little bit. So I haven't been able to do the comments while we were going over the interview. But I'm gonna go over some of these comments. Yeah, it does. It does sound like Sebastian was a lot more like a normal teenager. I agree. When Seth talks about Sebastian, he speaks about Sebastian as highly capable. Yes. Yes, she does, Island. Yes, she does. I agree with that. Tammy M said, I'm not anti Seth, and in fact, I know that he passed the polygraph test that Nancy Grace gave him. However, the longer Seth does interviews, the worse it's getting for him. He does just need to step away. I completely agree. I completely agree. And that's not being mean or talking bad about the man or attacking him in any way. It's not. But there was something in an interview that I caught earlier, and I can't find it now, which is what I was talking about earlier. And that is also one of the reasons I'm telling you he needs to step away because he's upset. And when we're upset, we all say things we regret later. And it breaks my heart because I feel this man grieving for his son. His son is lost. He don't know where he is, and he is grieving for him. But sometimes, in order to be good to people and to be honest with people and tell them, look, you need to step away, is the right thing to do. Whether it makes all of us happy or not, it's the right thing to do. Yes. Yes, Tammy M. Yep. That is exactly what I'm talking about. To the accidents. Yep. I didn't hear it this time. Yes, JC, all three under are, according to Seth, all three of them are suspects. Absolutely. Low 12 said, I agree, Regina. He is a grieving father. He is broken and needs to stay away from YouTube. His health is at stake, in my opinion. Connie agrees. Yep. Chris and Katie have each other, so help each other through this. Yep. Yep. And I agree that Seth does need someone to talk to, and he needs someone to be there for him. But hopefully, he understands now with everything that's gone on that he's not going to find it more than likely here on YouTube. Because so far, I mean, I'm not saying there aren't people out here that are good and not going to do right by him and help him, but so far, that's not what he's found. And I think it has forever changed him. You guys, please sign this petition that I have highlighted in the chat right now for Seth. It's one of the things that he's asked us all to do. Also, here is a link to the flyer. If you would like to print them off, you can find them right here and print them off directly with your computer. Yes, I agree, JC. Neighbors know more than they think and they pay attention. I wish that would have happened from the beginning, Low 12. Find Sebastian. You guys are amazing. Hey, Brady, good to see you, beautiful. Missing on the 2nd of February. I mean, the February the 26th of 2024. That's this year. February the 26th. Missing. Endangered. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, 15 years old. He's a white autistic male. Brown hair. Brown eyes. He is 5'5" and weighs approximately 120 pounds. If you have any information, please call 1-615-451-3838 TBI. Oh, Brady, that is so awesome. Oh, yay. Thank you, Brady, for being willing to put them up. Thank you for being willing to put them up. And you're welcome. Thank you, though. Seriously, thank you. I wouldn't, I couldn't personally go put those flyers up where you did. And every little bit helps. So thank you. I'm glad that you are willing to. That matters to me a lot. Thank you. You're amazing for that, Brady. All right, you guys. I've been alive for almost 5 hours today. My brain is starting to melt out the side of my head. Um, if they do find Sebastian, if there are uh any updates whatsoever from law enforcement, I will cover that here on my channel for Sebastian. But you guys, um, I can't keep doing Sebastian. It's just breaking my heart until he's found. I apologize. It's not helping the situation. I think that we've pretty much been told everything we can be told at this point, unless somebody confesses what they have done with Sebastian, or unless they find him somewhere out here, um, you know, because he ran away. So, or unless there's an arrest made with his disappearance, there's nothing else we can report until law enforcement gives us something. And I think everything else is just adding to the circus. And I don't want to be a part of that circus whenever there is a missing child involved, because I have children and because it's just not right. So I appreciate you all so much. Tammy said, in fact, take it one step further and say Seth needs to take his doctor's advice about watching the news and extend it to YouTube. Not only not go on YouTube, share your YouTube app off. Absolutely, Tammy. Absolutely. I completely agree. I completely agree. So, yeah, that's where I stand with the Sebastian Rogers case. And if there is any more news on the case, like I said, from law enforcement, or if he's found or something like that, I will cover it. I will continue to share his picture on all my social media platforms. I will continue to bring awareness for the petition for Seth Rogers because he asked us to do that. And I'll keep sharing that his son is missing. But other than that, I really don't know anything else we can offer to it. You know what I mean? I just don't. What about you, Sammy?
I've said all I need to say.
Yep. Yep. So again, you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. We are 20 members shy of being at 1,000 members. So hopefully we can hit that by the end of the week, and we'll do something fun. We'll do something fun if we hit 1,000 subscribers. Sam, you'll have to help me plan something out, something goofy, something fun. You know what I mean? And we appreciate you guys. Sammy, is there anything else you'd like to add real quick?
I'm good. Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, you guys, in the famous words of Crystal, share a smile and save a life. You never know, the life you save might just even be your own. Kindness is free. It really is. Share it with somebody. You ain't got to share it with me. If you're only going to share it with yourself, share it with somebody. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Yep. And with that said, you guys, blessings and good night. And thank you for joining us. Good night.